Hi everyone, very good evening. Second sharing. Just let me know once you're able to see the PDF. Just say yes in chat box so that we can start. Are you able to see my screen? Any response, please? Hope I'm audible as well. Yeah. Okay, thank you. To take the quick recap of our last last two classes, we started with the Factors Act 1948. Initial class, we have seen all the chapters which are there. Then we start from the chapter 1. So the chapter 1 starts with preliminary. We have seen the basic definitions which are applicable to a factory. And we have seen what is meant by manufacturing process, what is meant by factory, who is meant by worker. And we have seen who is meant by occupier and their general duties, inspector general duties in chapter 2. Then we have seen the power of inspectors. Then we started with the health chapter as well. We have seen cleanliness, what is meant by ventilation, dust and fumes, artificial humidification, drinking water and that requirement, latrines and urinals, spittoons. Then we entered into chapter 4, safety. Here we have seen this chapter is majorly focusing on most of the safety aspects with respect to the equipments and the facilities. Okay. The health chapter mostly focusing on towards health and hygiene. Then in this chapter, we have seen fencing of missionaries, then work near on missionaries, employment of young persons, striking care against the dividers, casing of the new missionaries, prohibition of employment of women in the children near the cotton openers, hoist and lifts. Then we have seen lifting machines, chains, ropes and lifting tackles. Then we have discussed revolving machinery, then pressure plants, then floors, stairs and means of access, then pits, sums and openings, then excessive weight and protection of eyes, precautions against the dangerous fumes and the precautions regarding the portable electric light, explosives and flammable dust, etc. So this section, if you see that it talks about completely with respect to the safety aspects. Then we have seen chapter 4 here, which is dedicatedly for the hazardous processes. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఎప్పుడైతే మీ ప్రాసెస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద యాక్టివిటీ యూఆర్ పర్ఫార్మింగ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ యూఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఇఫ్ యువర్ ప్రాసెస్ కమ్స్ అండర్ hazardous process, then all these sections are applicable to you. One is constitution of site appraisal committee. So the site appraisal committee is formed by the government authorities. Then here also we have compulsory disclosure of information. So what kind of information should be disclosed? Like one example as a site emergency plan. Then specific responsibilities of occupier. It means whoever is involving as an occupier, here they have to perform certain responsibilities they have to follow. Then emergency standards. Then permissible limits of exposures and chemical. Here we talked about the maximum permissible thresholds, which means a person to an extent, what extent he can expose or he is permissible to expose. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఒక వ్యక్తి అనేవాడు ఒక కెమికల్ కి ఎంతవరకు ఎక్స్పోజ్ అవ్వచ్చు అన్న దాని గురించి. The workers' participation in safety management, occupation, every factory were in the 50-50%. So here we have stopped it. The 41G is the workers' participation in safety. It is about the safety committee meeting. Okay. So safety committee, the legal requirement, if somebody asks what is the legal requirement as per the which section you're asking me to set up a safety committee, so we can immediately take this section reference under chapter 4A under section 41G of Factors Act 1948. There is a section called workers' participation in safety management. That specific section is asking for to form a safety committee meeting or to form a safety committee or meeting committee. So if you see this tenure of the committee and all, we have discussed in many times. The tenure of the committee will be for 2 years. There will be 50-50 participation of the management people as well as workers' participation is required. Now we'll see 41H. The rights of the workers to warn about the imminent danger. What is the right of a worker? The right means everybody will have rights to express your opinion. Everybody have right to speak as a democratic country. So here also, as per the factories, the workers have some rights. Rights in the sense hakkulu. They have some rights where the worker employed in a factory engaged in a hazardous process have a reasonable apprehension that there is a likelihood of immediate danger to their health and lives and health due to any incident, or they may bring the same to the notice to the occupier or agent, the manager of any of the person who is in charge of factory or the process concerned directly or through their representatives in the safety committee, or simultaneously bring to the same notice to the inspector. So what they can do is, in case of any danger they have seen, how we ask them to report near misses, unsafe actions, unsafe conditions. Here, in case of due to any accident, they may bring that situation to the factory manager or who is the ultimate owner of that factory, and also simultaneously bring the same to the notice of inspector. Inspector means inspector of factories or deputy chief inspector of factories or director general of factories, based on the availability nearby. Basically, the immediate contact will be inspector of factories, local inspector of factories. It shall be the duty of such occupier, agent, manager, or the person in charge of the factory or the process to take the immediate remediation action. So once it been informed, whose responsibility? It is the duty. Duty in the sense accountable. It is not responsibility. He is the accountable to take an immediate remedial action on the hazard or the incident which is addressed or notified to him. If he is satisfied about the existence of such imminent danger and send a report with the action taken to the nearest inspector. If the occupier, agent, or manager or factor of the person in the action is not satisfied about the existence of immediate danger as the apprehension of the workers, he shall nevertheless refresher the matter forthwith to the nearest inspector who decision on the a question of the existence of such imminent danger. If the workers are not satisfied, they can put a complaint to again inspector of factories. That is the right of the worker. So they have right to inform to the inspector of factories as well as the management towards the potential hazard. అంటే మన కంపెనీలో ఎటువంటి ప్రమాదాలు ఉన్నాయో ఏదైనా ప్రమాదకరమైన పరిస్థితి ఉంది అని తెలిసి మనము వాళ్ళకి ఇన్ఫార్మ్ చేస్తే చేయొచ్చు. చేసినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఇమీడియట్ గా యాక్షన్ తీసుకోవాలి. ఒకవేళ యాక్షన్ తీసుకున్నా కూడా స్టిల్ వీఆర్ నాట్ సాటిస్ఫైడ్ అంటే ఆ యాక్షన్ అనేది నాట్ సఫిషియంట్ టు ద సప్రెస్ ఆర్ టు రిమూవ్ ది ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ హజార్డ్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ go a counter file again on the same hazard to the inspector of factories. Okay, that is about right of the workers. Now we are getting into the chapter 5, which is welfare. I think after this we didn't have much chapters to, so important, we can run faster. The washing facility. So if you see in the welfare, we have washing facilities for storing, drying of the wet clothing, facilities for sitting, first aid appliances, then canteen, shelters, restrooms and lunchrooms, creche, welfare officer, power to make rules to supplement